Welcome everyone to the next episode of our series here. So today we're going to be talking about structuring our days. We're going to give you some tips and tricks on how do we structure our trading routine, and also how have we noticed that our trading routines have helped us outside of trading. So both of us have businesses, and so we're going to kind of share that a little bit with you guys, give you a little bit of an insight into that.
100%. How's it going, guys? Hope everyone's doing well. Sorry, I'm a little sweaty. I just got back from the gym, so it's a little hot out here in Jersey.
So the first question that we're going to start off with is, how has structuring our day helped us in our trading? So do you want to start off with that first,
Sure,
Stefanos?
sure, if you'd like. Okay, so a tip I got, and I'm not going to take credit for this. I got this from Ed Milet. If you guys have heard of him, very successful businessman. He's got about 27 businesses. Very well spoken. Great podcast. If you guys want to look him up, I highly recommend it. But he says that if you can structure your mornings and your nights, it's easy to structure in the middle of your day, right?
Right.
So, a lot of you guys are beginner traders, maybe intermediate traders, maybe break even, maybe failing traders right now, just right now. A lot of you guys wish that you were trading full time, right? And that's very natural. You wish you were, in a much better space, making a lot more money and all that stuff. You see other traders on Instagram doing that, and you want to be there. But a way to look at it, and if you have a 9 to 5, a classic 9 to 5, where your day is structured from 9 o'clock, where you're going to work, and 5 o'clock, you're done for the day, you have such an advantage. Not many people have that. Where, if you're running a business, you got clients all over the place where you have a schedule. Let's say for me, I have a scheduled drive from here to here, but I could get a surprise drive where it's someone that needs to drive right away or something like that, and it kind of throws your day off, and it's frustrating, but you got to learn to live with it and structure your day around that. But if you can, and it starts in the morning, if you can listen to your alarm, wake up to your alarm, and right away you have something that you do. Let's say you chug a glass of water. You want to stay hydrated? That'll wake you up too. Glass of cold water, you put ice water next to your bed, chug that, right? Next thing you do is get a nice workout in. It doesn't have to be crazy. Maybe, grab, let's say 20, 25 push-ups or like 25 squats. That'll wake you right up, and then jump into a cold shower. And I know this is all like very intense, but you work your way up to that. And trust me, it does so much for you mentally, your confidence, everything. I highly recommend trying all that stuff. But also, you want to make sure that you schedule everything throughout your day. So every hour, I don't know why I'm laughing, but every hour is accounted for, right? You want to make sure that, like, let's say you trade pre-New York, so you trade 6:30 to 9. And then if you don't get a trade from that point, you can trade maybe until 11 o'clock when London closes. But that's your trading time, and you're done. You make sure that, if you don't get an entry at that time, you're done trading. You wait till the next day, because volume dies out. And if you're a scalper, you don't want to be trading at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. So it just doesn't make sense. But from there, you have your day, you're planned out where you're working. I don't know, let's say 9 o'clock after you're trading, you go to work. You got that whole space in. When you get out of work, you have from 5 to 6. Let's say you go to the gym, you do something else. 6 to 7. What are you doing from that point? You have about till 10 o'clock at night, if you work a 9 to 5, to get your work in when it comes to trading and perfecting your skill, back testing, reading about economics, reading fundamentals, articles. There's so much you could do in that 5 hour span. Then you go to bed at 10 o'clock and you wake up at 5, or whenever you wake up. But I highly recommend waking up early and getting the most out of your day.
I think that was great information. There was actually one point that you said, which was accounting for every single hour of your day. And I found that very interesting because I do pretty much the same thing. But what I've started doing is putting ranges instead of being like every single hour,
3 to 6.
because you don't want to feel rushed through, but also it helps you with your time management.
Mm-hmm.
And so the way that I structure my days is pretty much the same exact thing, where I have other businesses that I have to take care of. So you have, as an entrepreneur, you're never just gonna be off the clock, right? You always have stuff to
Never.
do, right? And so that's how I kind of structure my days, where it's like, okay, in the morning I have my trading time, whatever time that may be, whether it's London session or New York session, whichever one. And then from there, it's like, okay, what do I have to do next? And I get the hardest things out of the way first.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you start some of the things that you dread doing, if you keep pushing it, like your entire day, you're just going to be thinking about it. You're just going to be like, oh man, I have that to do. I have that to do. So you're
Hmm.
never going to be 100% focused on what you're doing right now.
It weighs on you too.
Right. And it's the same exact in trading. Well, if you keep dreading some of the things that you have to do, you're always going to be thinking about it. You're never going to be 100% present in trading.
Hmm.
Right. So, for example, in trading, something that you may completely dread is probably doing that entire analysis. I always tell people one thing that I do is every day when I come onto the charts, I take off everything. And then I redo the analysis just because overnight there obviously have been levels that have been created that I didn't notice, right? Or maybe they were just created, they're going to affect how my trades are going to go.
Hmm.
So creating that entire analysis again, you don't have to go back to the monthly, you don't have to go through like every single time frame. But if you're scalping, then go to the daily time frame, look at okay, how is price reacting, where are the wicks happening, and all of that. So
Hmm.
that may be one part that you dread. So maybe get up, let's say 30 minutes before you trade and then just do the entire analysis real quick, right? That's really going to help you with your entire trading session. It's going to make sure that you're staying on top of the new levels that have been formed. Because if you don't do that, if you keep the same exact analysis from like beginning of the week, and let's say it's Thursday, but you've never like came back and redid the entire thing, then obviously there have been new levels, and it's gonna affect your trading. You're gonna miss out trades. Maybe you're gonna come back and kick yourself, and you're gonna be like, oh wow, that was the perfect break and retest above this level. Why did I pay attention to that? Right? So to avoid all of that, kind of do the things that you dread. And that's what we do in the business too. And then also having a trading structure will help you greatly reduce over trading and not have time for bench trading either. So if I know exactly what you were saying, like all right, from you said 6:30 to 9 o'clock for pre-New York, that's the Eastern time. So in that time, that's the only time that you have for trading. If after that there's any movements, then it's all right. You're going and you're doing something else.
Hmm.
That's not in your trading session. You're not going to trade that. And if you sit there the entire day, the more you look at the charts, the more you're going to overtrade, the more you're going to try to revenge trade, the more you're going to keep blowing your accounts, right? So restrict yourself. I actually had someone message me yesterday. It was they were just talking about like, when did you first realize that you were profitable and all of this? But I bring up that conversation because in that I told him that when I look back at how I started, again it was like $100 account, but it was very small, very easy to blow and everything, right? So then I started restricting myself to kind of find my trading style. That's what it was. But I started restricting myself that I'm only gonna look for certain setups and I'm only gonna trade those setups, right? Look for quality instead of quantity. You don't want to be part of the market every single day if your setup's not there, right?
Yep.
Eventually, when you start building that discipline, again, you're sitting at home. You're not sitting in an institution. You're not sitting at a bank. You're not sitting around other people who are going to hold you accountable. So when you're sitting alone, discipline gets a lot harder, right? So
Mhm.
setting up some of those boundaries and so some of those restrictions for yourself are really going to help with your discipline. And that's how you're going to overcome a lot of these over trading, revenge trading. Maybe you just keep trading over and over again, but you're sitting at that break-even point. Find what works for you, your perfect setup, and only trade that. And that's what your trading structure or your trading routine is supposed to help you with.
Yep. Yep. And I'll go more in depth real quick about like what my rules are. So, like I said, 6:30 to 9, that's my normal trading window. So, if I don't catch a trade in there, but like if I do catch, let's say 2 trades in there, I'm done for the day. But I'm saying if I don't catch a trade in that window, I tell myself I have till 11 because you got the New York Stock Exchange open at 9:30. You
Right.
got plenty of volume around 10:15, 10:30, and then right up until 11 o'clock. I know that there is possibility for me to catch a move in that window. So I do give myself till there. But if I already get my 1 or 2 trades before 9 o'clock, I'm done. And those are the rules that you guys need to set for yourself.
Right. When you have a large time frame like that, you're going to see a lot of movements in the market,
Hmm.
right? And so you will want to be a part of that impulsive moves that happen on, let's say, the 1 hour, 30-minute, 15-minute, right? So in that, the larger your time frame gets, the more disciplined you have to be. You have to
Yes,
wait for your setups. You have to wait for your confirmation. You don't want to be taking a trade every single hour just because you can,
exactly.
right? You don't want to be taking trades back to back to back.
Hmm.
And so the next
I agree.
question that I had here was, what are some tips or tricks that you have used from your trading routine into outside of trading? So whether it's fitness, whether it's running your businesses, whether it's, anything else, what are some tips and tricks that you have learned from your trading routine that have helped you outside of trading?
I mean, there's a lot. But are you saying like practices that I use in my life that have benefited my trading?
Yeah.
Okay,
Or
yeah,
like
that makes sense.
something that you've developed while trading that has helped you outside of trading.
Ooh, see, it's kind of been the opposite. It's been a lot of the stuff that I've always done that I brought into trading that really helped me succeed at trading from an earlier standpoint instead of that 3 to 4 year mark where people really started to catch their stride. I caught it a little bit earlier based on, and I've also had my hiccups and everything, and that's how it is. But there's been a lot of exercise that I brought into trading. Obviously, fitness is huge. That's the number one thing for you to get momentum and with working out and feeling confident, feeling good about yourself,
Mhm.
bringing that confidence into the market, that helps. But discipline, I mean, there's multiple things. So you can set up a daily must list. Like a lot of you guys probably have to-do lists, right? But those to-do lists, a lot of those things don't get done at the end of the day. So what you want to do is set up a daily must list. Like these things, this whole list, I have it on my iPad, have to get done before my head hits the pillow,
Mhm.
right? That you have, let's see, I'm drawing a blank right now. I had a bunch like in my head as you were saying that, and I just caught a. So another thing, what you want to do is look over your goals. I forgot about that one. Look over your goals every single day. Like write them down. Also AARs, but your goals mainly. I have a V2 MOM list. Hold on. Yeah, okay. So it's vision, values, methods, obstacles, and then measures. So the first one is vision. So what do I really want? What do I really want in life, right? And those are the things that you put together. Like it could be many different things, whatever your goals are. You could think of those. But values is what is important about it, right? So you write down exactly like why do I want these goals? Why do I want to accomplish these things? Um, Methods, how will I get it? Like what will I do to put me into that path where I can actually achieve these things? What are the things I'm doing on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, for me to actually accomplish these things?
Right.
Obstacles, what is preventing me from having it? Let's say it's you know that you need to backtest every day and you choose to play video games instead, or go out with friends, stuff like that, where you need to be sacrificing right now instead of doing those things, and that you'll be able to do those things down the road when you can actually enjoy yourself and enjoy the fruits of your labor. The last one is measurement. So how will I know I'm successful? How will I know that I accomplish these goals? Where am I going to be? Where can I vision myself in that space that I say I'm going to be in? How do I know I'm going to be there?
Right.
These different things, daily must list, V2MOM. I read that every morning and night. Many different things. Also, like you said, accounting for every single hour, but you put it into windows. So you do like what, 3 to 6 or 12 to 3,
I
three to
put in a
six.
Yeah, I put in a window of like this is my trading window, and then after that, like I have meetings with students, I have meetings with investors, I have meetings with other people. So then
Yep.
I have a window that okay during this time, and I block that out on my calendar just for meetings. So if you want to have a meeting, then I have a link for that. So you go to my calendar, and that gives you the entire window of when I'm available for those meetings, right? And then after that, I have a window of okay, I gotta get my schoolwork done because again, still part of masters. So I still got
Yep.
to get that work done, still got to get research done. And then after that, I'm still doing internships with like, other government organizations. I wouldn't
Hey,
want to,
really?
yeah, I wouldn't want to name them out here, but I'm
Oh,
doing those too, right? And
that's
then
awesome.
I'm working with VC firms because I want to get into that space. So just because I trade doesn't mean that, I don't have any other goals.
Yeah.
And so that's why I tell other people it's exactly what you have, that entire list. Maybe you've written it down. But for me, what I've done is since I believe it's the 18th or 19th birthday, I've written down what I want to accomplish that entire year until my birthday's on January 19th.
Tell me
So
about
by
this.
January 18th of next year, what do I need to have accomplished in that one year?
Yep.
Right? And so sometimes there's going to be times like the pandemic where you have a ton of time on your hands because you're working from home or whatever. And so what I actually noticed is once you start putting that discipline, once you start have that vision, then you're actually going to start hitting your goals a lot faster. I actually have my goals set up when I did my recently when I was checking off everything on my list. I found out that I actually was hitting goals that I had like for when I turned 25. I'm 23 right now, right? So I had
Amazing.
all these goals that I wanted to accomplish, trading, business, school, whatever
Yeah.
it may be. And I was hitting those goals. And it's because you start creating this entire routine for yourself. And you don't have to account for every single day. You don't have to live your entire life hour by hour,
Yeah. No.
right?
Mhm.
but you need to have some sort of structure.
Yep.
And that's why I have an entire range. You probably have a different schedule, but I have an entire range of, okay, these are things I need to get done, and these are the only times I'm going to allocate to these things.
Hmm. Yeah. So right back to what I was saying before, if you have a 9 to 5, think of that as a major advantage because every single day is at least similar. Every single one of my days is different. And that makes it way harder to balance everything because I could be doing something one day and then the next day it's completely different. I'm doing one thing late at night, one thing I'm doing way early in the morning. So it's very difficult to kind of manage a schedule like that. That's why I wouldn't say jealous, but I get like, damn, I wish I could sit at my computer all day and get all my work done at my computer. Where me, I'm on the road a lot too, so it's difficult to kind of balance a lot. But another practice that I would definitely add into whatever you're doing your routine is AARs, and those are called after action reports. It's just an acronym, but this is used by the military special forces, where after a mission they write down everything that went into that mission, detail it as much as they can, and they have to report to their officers above them, and obviously report that to them. But
Like a
uh,
journal.
it's basically a journal. Yeah, but it's different from a trading journal. And that's another thing because you were saying, what were you
But
saying before?
they dread doing certain parts, and journaling is one of them.
I was going to say that before. A lot of people dread doing the top down analysis every single day, but a lot of people dread journaling. But when it comes to journaling in your personal life, you can have an AAR for everything you want. You can have an AAR for your life, one for trading, one for fitness, one for biking, one for swimming, whatever you're doing that you want to keep a track of. You can have one for everything. I have one. I used to have one for everything differently, but now I just write everything in my life journal, and I
Mhm.
just keep each input is a little bit longer. But do one in the morning and do one at night. Write down. All right, I woke up the way I wanted to wake up this morning. I did everything I had to do this morning, or maybe I didn't. And then later in the day, all right, I stuck to everything I said I was going to do today, and you self-talk is one of the most powerful things you do, and actually writing it down. I know it sounds tedious, like you don't really have to do it. Highly recommend doing it.
There's one program that comes to mind, and it's the 75 Hard by Andy Frisella. And it's
Mm-hmm.
because it forces you to do all of this. It will force you
Yes.
to create discipline outside of, well, he doesn't trade, but in your life.
Yeah.
Create some sort of discipline and go after your goals. And you get to set the rules yourself. He's just going to
Mm-hmm.
give you a general guideline, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go have 2 workouts, have a diet. It depends on you what kind of diet that you're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
Read 10 pages, get a cold shower, drink a gallon of water, things like that. But obviously, these are just general guidelines, and you get to modify it according to what does 2 workouts look like for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yoga and a walk, weights and a walk, or whatever it is. It depends on you. But that program, I've tested it out. I'm sure you've done it too. I've seen your post about it, right? And it's not even the first phase is basically you start off with 75 days and you're just doing the same thing over and over again when it comes to structure. And then after that, there's phases. But I think that program, if you're really struggling with discipline, I say start off with that program. It's not that hard to have, your stick to your diet, right? It's not that hard to go on a walk or anything like that. You just have to find that time. And that's
Mm-hmm.
something that I've struggled with when I was doing that program, where I sit at my desk. Sometimes I'll go out and then I have to go do work outside too. But because of the pandemic, I'm at my desk the entire day, right? And it's so easy just because I'm at my desk and I have like 3 screens here that I can just pull up a chart on one of them and just look at it the entire day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the discipline comes in, where it's like, no, I have other work to do,
Yep.
right? And so sitting at my desk, that's where the discipline comes in, where I have so much work to do that sometimes I'm like, damn, I don't know if I have the time to go on a walk. But you have to find that time,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even with journaling that we were mentioning earlier, it's the same exact thing. A lot of people, they get off of their charts, and I've gotten these messages from people. That's why, and I bring this up, and they're like, yeah, I didn't have the time to journal. Stefanos and I have had this conversation where he gets up and he goes to work right after he's done trading. But if he's not able to journal right after, you'll see him on Instagram. Like so many times he's posted that he's journaling while he's just waiting for someone.
I was on
Or
this.
yeah, or yeah, when he was on Instagram. Or like he'll come back after he's done with the day, but he makes sure that he journals.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, it may take him like an extra day because he's had a busy schedule, but the important thing is coming back and reflecting on your trades. And that's the same exact thing that you have to do with your goals too. For me, I don't have it written down, but I know exactly what my vision is. I know exactly what things I need to get done. And then it's like, okay, every single day I'm making one step, at least two steps, whatever it is, to finish that goal, right? How am I making that progress? And
Yep.
that's down to you. How do you do it? Some people write it down. For me, I don't write it down, but I know exactly what I need to get done. And that's where your discipline comes into check, because there's going to be a lot of days where you don't want to do, whatever it takes. Some days you're just going to sit there and you're just looking at the charts and you're not going to find a trade, right? But just because the market is moving, just because candles are forming, doesn't mean that you have to take a trade. So
Hmm.
what I do in that sense is I take note of all the important news that's going to come out, and I only trade those sessions. So unemployment claims, I didn't trade London session, because unemployment claims was coming out, and so was the GBP interest rates this morning. So for me, it was like, all right, I'm going to trade as soon as New York opens up, and then we only go up until NYC open, because that's the time that I have set for myself. And then if some other important news comes out, let's say tomorrow, London session comes out, but there's nothing in New York session, then I'll trade London session with my team. So I only take note of that. Another thing that I've seen is in the weekly outlooks, you'll probably notice how we write down the important fundamentals on the charts, right? So that's something that you can test out too, where it's when you're trading and you're not, that there's important news coming out when you're doing your entire analysis, but then sometimes you just lose track while you're looking at the chart. So put down like in a text box on the side of the screen that this is the important news that's coming out, so you're mindful of it. So there's a lot of minor things like that that you can test out, and these are things that I've done too. So if I
Hmm.
know that there's something important coming up outside of trading, if I'm doing my work, I know there's something important coming up, then I have a reminder set for it, right? I have it in a text, I get to look at it. So
Hmm.
the important thing I think here is making sure, what are your goals? You're not in trading for just 1 year, 2 year, get rich and you're out, right? You're going to be in trading for a long time, and you're going to be part of the foreign exchange market directly or indirectly. Either you're going to be there as a consumer and the data's coming out about you, or you're going to be there trading it,
Hmm.
right? Either of those. You're always going to be part of it. So you got to think of it like a business. You don't get into a business exactly how Stefano says it. You don't get into a business just for 1 year and you're out. You're getting a business to scale it, and you're going to be there for the long haul.
That's a great point. A lot of people and a lot of you guys probably, let's say, have jobs and then you trade on the side, right? Not a lot of people have businesses in the beginning, have a business and they trade at the same time. That's kind of an advantage because you know how to run a business and you know how to trade as well, because a lot of those principles go right into trading. But the one thing that I heard from someone, I forget who it is, so I'm not taking credit for it, but someone was saying that professional athletes, obviously one of the hardest jobs in the world, physically on your body, obviously, but at the same time, they have off seasons. If
Yeah.
you're a business owner, you don't have an off season. We're constantly going. There is no off season. So you want to look at it that way. And then also, if you do have a job and you're trading at the same time, your trading is your business. Like
Mhm.
it's the same thing. It's the same thing if you were trading on Amazon. It's the same thing you were trading on, you had a brick and mortar store just selling things. You're trading things. You're buying something from a wholesaler and selling it to someone, or selling it to someone. So this is the same thing. You're just trading currencies with somebody who you don't know who you're trading with. That's the only difference.
Right.
So just treat this like a business. Pay attention to your stats. Pay attention to your routine throughout the day, and make sure that you're putting the time into to actually be successful in this. We're not gonna be successful.
So again, the whole point throughout this entire like maybe 20, 30 minutes here, giving you a ton of tips on how to structure your days, how to follow the same exact thing into your trading routine. What are some things that we've done that have helped us become successful? So I really hope that you're at least able to take one thing out of here. But that's pretty much what our episode is here, how to structure your days. So let us know if there's anything else that you guys wish that we had covered here, or what are your thoughts? What was your favorite part? We'd love hearing your guys' messages or reading your messages. We send them back and forth to each other, so I always send it to
Yeah.
Stefano. What this person said.
I read yours late at night. Like I fell asleep real quick and then I woke up and I saw what you said. It was like a screenshot of somebody sending her a message about these little podcast things we do, whatever you want to call this, but little course. But yeah, I thought that was awesome. I love seeing that. Obviously I can't interact with you as much. Oh, little update. We can interact on TikTok. And I'm going to be posting my trades on TikTok again. I don't know why I stopped. I think maybe I just stopped because Instagram wasn't available for me, but it's the same at StefanosFX on TikTok that you can reach out to me and we could talk on there. So
Yeah, feel free to reach out. We'll do our best to help you out. But I really hope that you guys at least learned one or two new things that have helped us that might help you. So test it out again, modify it to according to your style, according to what your schedule is. Stefano said that a lot of people that have 9 to 5 jobs. There's a lot of people who I work with, who I mentor, who work 14 hours, yet they have to find their time. So structure your days according to your style, not to someone else's. Just because we trade London session, you don't have the time. You don't have to trade London session. Figure out a session that works for you. Figure out a style that works for you.
yes, and if you got anything out of this at all, please like and subscribe both channels if you can. It means a lot to us and it gets our word out to other people. So we
Yeah.
appreciate you. Hope you appreciate us and vice versa.